struggling to understand social media, or perhaps you're just not a social media person, you can still get fans. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how you can do that. Social media is fantastic for artists. If you watch any of our content, if you watch any of our YouTube videos, listen to our podcast, follow us on Instagram, you will know that we constantly push using social media. However, we know that there are people that just don't get social media. They don't enjoy using it. The idea of posting on Instagram every single day is like their worst nightmare. So this video is for you. Creating content doesn't just mean putting a tour diary vlog on your YouTube channel. It doesn't mean having to do Instagram stories every day. So this video is outlining 2 different ways that you can create content which is outside of the stereotypical content that all artists think they should be creating. These 2 content ideas are completely different to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter content strategies that you hear constantly. So I'm hoping that these 2 content strategies are going to be perfect for people that hate being on camera or just feel like they're not kind of social media savvy. Yes, I know we constantly go on about social media. We say it opens up doors, it builds relationships, it means you can reach a wider audience. But these 2 different types of content also do the same. They mean that you can reach a massive audience. You can get fans overnight. You can build your following to a point that you can have a gig and people turn up. You can have a single, release it, and you're getting immediate streams. And that's the aim. The aim is to get that engagement. And these 2 pieces of content, these content strategies will get that. So let's get started. Let's explain the first thing, which is podcasting. Podcasts are fantastic. Over the past few years, they have blown up massively. With last year seeing 76.8% of people listening to over 7 hours of podcasts a week. And that figure is crazy. The idea that there are people out there are listeners that are waiting to take in podcasts, and you could be the person that provides it. Because in this society, everyone is obsessed with taking in content. But when you're driving, when you're in the shower, when you're in the bath, when you're cooking dinner, it's quite hard to take in content. When you're driving to work every day, you can't watch a full YouTube video, but you can listen to a podcast. Podcasts allow you to consume the content in any situation, and that's why they've become so popular. I first spoke about podcasting about a year ago, and I was saying how amazing it is for emerging artists, and how I knew it was going to be a hype soon. And next thing you know, the English band Blossoms have created a podcast. They have a podcast called Blossoms Pubcast. And all they do is sit in a pub together every single week and talk about what's going on. They have a chat like they always would in a pub. And they do that weekly, and they get listeners. They have an engaged fan base now that take in that content. And it's only going to get more and more competitive, this space. So you need to get on it immediately. You need to start recording these podcasts. Firstly, let's start with what you actually need. And this is very minimal. I'd suggest not investing in a really expensive microphone immediately, because if you don't have the listeners, then there's no point. I would suggest just sitting in a quiet room, so this could literally be a closet in your house, and recording the audio via your phone. When it gets to the point where you have an engaged audience, or people are talking about the sound quality, that's when you can invest in a microphone. But until then, there's no point, because if no one's listening, you're wasting that money. So start recording on your phone, and then you can upload it to places such as Spotify, Podcast Player, iTunes, using an uploader such as Buzzsprout. And that means that you can record it in an hour and have it up within the next hour. But what should it be about? It can honestly be about absolutely anything. You need to find a topic which is going to be relevant for your target audience. So our target audience is obviously musicians, so we're creating content that benefits musicians. We have a podcast that we do weekly, which outlines tips about music marketing, tips about the music industry. And if you're in a rock band and your target audience love guitars, you could do a whole podcast about guitars. Or perhaps you want to document your journey as a musician. You want to tell your fans what you're doing every day, what you're doing weekly, how you're progressing. Whatever it is, stick to that theme and start creating these podcasts weekly. We often hear people saying that content such as podcasts doesn't translate into streams, it doesn't translate into fans, and I couldn't disagree more. We get more DMs a week from people discussing our podcast than we do from our YouTube channel. And our YouTube channel has about 10 times more listeners, viewers, but because the podcast might feel more personal, they might enjoy taking that content in a lot more, we get direct messages, and that should be the aim for you. You want to have people engaging with you. And podcasts are a fantastic way to do this because you can get personal. You can speak to them as if you're speaking to them face to face. And once you've got them hooked, they're a fan for life. And throughout that podcast, you can plug your music, your tickets, your merchandise. And it's completely free because it's your podcast. You don't have to pay anyone else to promote it. Podcasts can also lead to money. And I know a lot of you love hearing that. You love talking about how you can make money in the music industry. And Podcasts are a great way to do that because if you get enough listeners, people can sponsor your podcast. And if you're doing a guitar podcast, a guitar brand might want to sponsor you. And that's a relationship you've built as well. Relationships are so easy to build over podcasts because you can bring in guests, you can interview people. Your name's going to get out there a lot quicker if you're creating this content which is fitting for a niche audience. Podcasts also allow you to create merchandise. And this one might sound a bit weird because you're probably used to just putting your logo across your t-shirt or perhaps lyrics. But once you've got a dedicated audience on a podcast, you can start creating more niche merch. You might have a slogan for your podcast, you might have an in-joke with your podcast listeners. And if you put that on a t-shirt, it's much more likely to sell rather than just your band logo across a t-shirt. And finally, our second content strategy, our second way to start creating content, build relationships with your fans outside of social media is blogging. 77% of internet users still read blogs. I read blogs daily and sometimes without even realizing. I might search something and end up scrolling through a blog for hours. Blogging is a fantastic way to build a relationship with your fan base because it's exactly the same as podcasting, but it's just written word. And if you don't like speaking, you feel like audio isn't best for you, then written word is probably the best route to go down. Firstly, the same as podcast, you need to find your niche. You need to find what you're going to cover. So you could document your journey. You could write a daily blog outlining what you've done with your music, how you're progressing. Or perhaps you could talk about your instrument. You could have a specific guitar blog. And then from here, you can have a mailing list. We've done this and we found it very effective. If you have a blog and then at the bottom of the blog, you say, subscribe to my mailing list and you'll be sent a reminder every time a blog comes out, then you've got your audience all in one mailing list, which is fantastic because once you've got that mailing list, you can send them whatever you want. You can send them ticket links, you can send them merchandise, you can send a link to your new song. We would suggest actually putting the blog on your website. So you might have your homepage and then the next page might be music, the next page might be a link to your merch, and then the next page might be your blog. Why this is so fantastic is because if you're writing really high quality content, talking about, say, guitars, and then you start ranking on Google for that search term, then musicians are going to be on your website, and then they're going to listen to your music, and then they're going to go onto your music video. They're going to deep dive into your website and learn so much more about you. Key things to remember when writing your blog is that people skim blogs very easily. So if you open up a new website right now and you saw a really long blog, you're not likely to read it straight away. You're going to skim through, read the subtitles, look at the pictures. So that's what you need to do. You need to put in those engaging pictures, put in engaging subtitles, so that if someone skims through it quickly, they're definitely going to go back to the beginning and start reading in full. Blogging isn't for everyone. Podcasting isn't for everyone, but we feel that those two content strategies are fantastic for people that struggle with social media. And it's so simple to do. You can get home from work and record a podcast before you cook dinner, or you can write a blog post in bed. Putting out this content means that you can engage with an audience. You can get fans so easily and you're not anywhere near social media. But these tips aren't just for people that struggle with social media. We would suggest everyone doing this. If you love Instagram, you've got loads of followers, start doing a podcast or start writing a blog. Whatever you do, be putting out as much content as possible because podcasts are blowing up at the moment. People are always going to read blogs. I hope you found this video useful and I hope that you can put these tips into practice. But if you have any other content strategies which are outside of social media, make sure to comment below because I want to know all about it. If you found this video useful, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on that bell so you're notified when we upload. And we'll be back soon with more music marketing advice.